What if I told you that one powerful family quietly shaped how every single one of us lives, works, and even thinks? Not through politics, not through war, but through something far more subtle. Control. Control of money, media, and the very fabric of society. A century ago, they built the world's first global empire on oil, but that was just the beginning. What came next was far more enduring. They discovered how to transform immense wealth into invisible influence, and that influence into a silent power that could steer humanity's direction without anyone realizing it. The patriarch of this dynasty understood what few others did. Fortunes can fade, but systems survive. As his industrial empire faced public pressure and antitrust laws, he quietly built something far more strategic, a network of organizations that looked charitable on the outside, but functioned like social engines, shaping thought, policy, and human behavior from behind the scenes. These foundations claimed to serve humanity, but beneath the surface, they were asking a much deeper question. What if the course of human progress could be guided, not by nations or democratic will, but by a select group of visionaries who believed they knew best? It all began subtly. It started with public health initiatives, educational grants, and university endowments. Hospitals and schools were built, and on the surface, it looked like pure generosity. But the programs they taught and the research they funded gradually began to redefine how people thought about medicine, science, and society itself. Public health, for example, became a laboratory for influence. New definitions of wellness emerged, favoring industrial, patentable treatments over natural, traditional ones. The very concept of modern medicine shifted from healing individuals to managing entire populations. Education was reshaped in the same way. Curriculums became standardized, creativity was narrowed, and schools were slowly molded into instruments of conformity rather than engines of exploration. Generations of students grew up inside systems designed not to encourage questioning, but to ensure compliance. In the background, these reforms were praised as noble and progressive, but the real, unseen effect was centralization and control. As their methods evolved, they learned that real power didn't just flow through companies, it flowed through ideas. By funding the right universities, councils, and research groups, they could guide intellectual discovery itself. Their fingerprints appeared everywhere through policy recommendations and social initiatives, yet their names were rarely attached. Their model of control was elegant, almost genius. If you can define what's considered normal, you never have to enforce it. It was influence disguised as benevolence, control cloaked in progress. And it worked beautifully. Even as governments changed, wars erupted, and empires fell, their network of influence endured. It simply adapted, quietly rebuilding itself around whatever new system came next. By the mid-20th century, their model had evolved into what you could call soft architecture. They weren't just building buildings anymore. They were creating blueprints for human behavior. They helped design the new world's institutions, from humanitarian councils to powerful economic think tanks. Each one appeared independent, yet so many were funded or inspired by the same silent few. Global collaboration, once a distant dream, became a framework for their influence. Every major crisis became a major opportunity. Wars, economic depressions, pandemics. In the chaos of Reconstruction, their systems expanded. Schools, policies, media narratives, all were gently guided toward one invisible goal: efficiency, predictability, and control. Then came technology, which offered a brand new frontier. In the second half of the century, their influence merged with innovation. They began funding science and media projects that could shape perception on a massive scale. Television, mass advertising, and academic studies became powerful new tools for persuasion. Cultural shifts no longer just happened by accident. They could be engineered. What people bought, what they feared, what they trusted, all of it could be nudged in a specific direction. And just as they had once centralized industry, they now began to centralize information. The world started speaking one digital language, streaming one shared narrative. The system no longer needed to silence dissent. It just needed to drown it out with enough noise. In this new era of connectivity, the dynasty's influence entered its most sophisticated form, yet invisible, automated, and truly global. The institutions that were once built of marble and ink were now being replaced by algorithms and screens. Today, the same philosophies echo through phrases that sound wonderfully humanitarian. Resilience. Sustainability. Global transformation. But behind these buzzwords lies a familiar structure. Networks of wealth, policy, and data, all working together to guide global change. The methods have evolved, but the aim remains the same. Stability through influence, order through design. These new systems promise us equality and security, yet they often lead to a deeper dependence on those same unseen powers. Every crisis is still an opportunity. Financial collapses lead to new economic frameworks. Global emergencies create unified responses that fundamentally reshape how our societies operate. In the name of progress, critical decisions are becoming more data-driven, automated, and centralized than ever before. The architects of this new world order don't need thrones or crowns. Their authority lives inside the very systems we depend on every day: our digital lives, our financial systems, our education, and our social structures. Their empire isn't one of territory. It's an empire of trust. And in a world where we willingly trade our privacy for convenience and complex truths for bite-sized information, trust has become the ultimate currency. But this brings us to the real question. When influence becomes this invisible, who decides what's right? The same mechanisms that built the modern industrial world are now governing our digital one. The same blueprint that once managed factories is now being used to manage minds. Our devices, our institutions, even our most deeply held beliefs about progress are being shaped by systems created long before we ever thought to question their origins. This isn't the story of one family anymore. It's the story of a philosophy, the idea that humanity can and should be guided from above for its own good. It's a belief that control, when it's packaged as compassion, will always be accepted. Look closely at the modern world, our education systems, our global health initiatives, our centralized economies. Behind the glossy mission statements and noble goals, you'll find the same pattern repeated over and over. Power disguised as help, influence wrapped in care. The world's greatest system of control isn't enforced by fear, but by faith. Faith in institutions, faith in progress, and faith in the idea that someone, somewhere, is guiding things for the better. But let's be honest, guidance is just another word for governance, and governance, once it's accepted, rarely gives its power back. As humanity races toward a fully digital age of biometric identity, programmable currency, and algorithmic authority, the question grows louder. Have we inherited a system built for our progress, or a cage designed for our compliance? The answer might depend on just how much control we're willing to trade for comfort. This invisible empire has no face, no flag, and no borders. It exists in the policies we follow, the screens we trust, and the choices we never even realized we didn't get to make. So the next time you hear about a global foundation funding change, or a new initiative promising to unify the world, just remember this. Power rarely disappears. It only adapts. The empire of influence may have started with industry, but it has evolved into information, silent, seamless, and absolutely everywhere. And perhaps the most unsettling truth is this. The architects of yesterday don't need to return. Their system is alive, self-sustaining, and deeply woven into the fabric of our daily lives. This isn't conspiracy, it's continuity. A legacy of control that has survived for over a century by calling itself progress. Welcome to Hidden US. This is Case 9. The secret social empire how one dynasty designed the modern world. Thank you for joining us on this journey. If you find this kind of exploration important, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel for more deep dives into the hidden forces that shape our world. We'll see you in the next case.